Ours was the marsh country, down by the river within, as the river wound 20 miles of the sea. Charles Dickens' Great Expectations. Oh, here I am at Gilmore Viewpoint, which I will show you in a moment. This is a relaxation session. We're going to do it on the theme of goals and goal setting. The aim of these sessions is I'm using a lot of hypnotherapeutic processes, meditation processes, mindfulness processes to create a relaxation video, but mine have got the added benefit is that they're visual as well, so you can look at a beautiful scenery while you just listen to my voice. Turn off your mind for a bit and think about some of the things, some of the themes that I'm talking about. So this is the view today. It's Cliffe in Rochester. Guess this is an estuary. Might be able to see some of the birds that you can focus on. So just take some deep breaths. Try and make your out breath twice as long as your in breath. It's a little trick. Always helps you relax. I want to talk about goals. Goals are a very important part in hypnotherapy because we always have to have something to aim for. Forward momentum. It doesn't matter the size of the goal that you have, but it's about creating change. It's about having that first step forward. I want to talk about some of the clients that I've had, some of the goals they've set themselves, and how I've found inspiration in these stories. And maybe you can use these stories to think about your own goals in life. So the first client I want to talk about, I've spoken about this one a lot, the woman with the box. It's one of my blogs as well. You can read this story. It's very inspirational. So a woman came to me, one of my first clients in my Crawley clinic. She was 65 years old and she'd retired when she was 60. And she'd had a job where she was very busy, very sociable, wide circle of friends, always active, always doing something, lots of hobbies. And retirement hadn't worked out as she thought, because she hadn't really found a purpose. This is what she said to me, and that days had turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, and the months into years, and she'd found herself not really going out at all, losing all those hobbies, losing contact with people. And then the world became a scary place. And even though she wanted to get out of her situation, she was scared to. So I guess you could say she was really struggling with anxiety and depression. So we spoke a little bit about who she wanted to be. There's no surprise. She said, I want to be the person I used to be, happy and fun and vibrant and sociable. And I said to her, what's the first step? She didn't know. No idea. I don't know where to start. But as I asked her a little bit more, I talked a little bit more, she spoke to me about a box that she had in her living room. And when she had retired, she'd put everything from her desk at work into this box, sealed it up with parcel tape. She carried it home, put it in her living room, and she'd left it there. She kept meaning to clear it out, but it just stayed there, become symbolic of her old life, just sealed up there in the box. She said to me, the first thing I need to do is to empty that box. I know that's what I need to do, but I can't bring myself to do it. So I said to her, well, what would be the first step? So a bit confused, she said, well, I guess the first step would be to take the parcel tape off. That would be the first step towards emptying the box. I said, well, let's do that then. She was a bit confused by that. Her goal for the week was literally to take some parcel tape off of a box. That was it. But when she came back to me the next week, she was absolutely beaming. I said, what's happened? And she said, well, look, I did what you said. I took the parcel tape off. And curiosity did get the better of me. So I opened the box, and the first thing that I saw was a picture in a frame. And it was a picture of me and an old friend that I used to have. I used to have that picture on my desk at work. I'd lost touch with that friend, and made me feel sad. So I gave her a call. We're going out next Saturday for a drink. And then she said underneath that there was a certificate. The certificate was for a skill that she had. She was an accountant. I don't know what skill, but she said, I feel like I've lost touch with that skill. So I found a training course once a week, and I can just train in that skill, and maybe I can get a couple of just private clients, just for something to do. And then she said underneath that there was a pen. It was a pen that her husband had bought her. Her husband had passed away, and she said, you know, when I saw that pen, I felt that he was with me. He was looking after me at that moment. It made me feel amazing. And I worked with her a few weeks, but that was the moment it all changed. And the point is, the goal wasn't any bigger than just take some parcel tape off a box. Because sometimes you don't need a big goal. You just need to start that momentum. I just want you to reflect on that story for a moment while I'm quiet. And just think about what goal you have that is small, but you think would start momentum. I had another client. I'm going to call her the multitasker. I like this story as well. So this client came to me. She was coming to me for weight loss. She was very stressed in life. She had bad eating habits. She had a husband who she loved, but she never got to see. She said, my stress levels, my anxiety levels are through the roof, and I never get any time for myself. So when we talked about making that first step, she always said to me, well, I can't make that first step because I am too busy. You don't understand, Paul, I'm too stressed. There is too much to do. I haven't got time for myself. So when we spoke about it, she came up with a solution eventually, which I really like. She invested in one of these recipe boxes you get delivered to your door with all the ingredients ready to go, and you make the food. And so what she did, she decided that 3 times a week, her and her husband were going to cook these recipes together for the family. It's called the multitasking goal, because within that one goal, she was getting time for herself, because she was doing something quite luxurious that she enjoyed doing. She was getting time with her husband that was missing whilst they cooked together. And she also was starting to eat more healthily as well, because she was preparing healthy meals. So she managed to condense 3 goals into one. So again, just have a little reflect on that story as well, what it means to you. Are there any goals that you can combine? A lot of my clients have what I call symbolic goals. So a lot of times when I ask a client what's the first step to reducing their anxiety, to improving their stress levels, it's fascinating how a lot of people will talk about sorting out a drawer in their house. Isn't this weird? Just sorting out a drawer. Everyone seems to have one messy drawer. One messy drawer in their house, and it's always symbolic, isn't it, of just stuff in there. Just put stuff in there because I can't be bothered to deal with it at the moment, so just put it in that drawer, and that drawer gets bigger and bigger and bigger. I'm sure we've all got one, or a messy box, or in some cases a messy room. A lot of times, by just dealing with it, by just putting everything else aside and saying there's an hour I'm going to deal with that messy drawer, it is so symbolic. Our brains love it because it represents something bigger in our minds. It represents moving on to a new way of thinking. Just think about the symbolic goals in your life. What would be that first symbolic step that you were getting better? Goals are about happiness. They're not about setting goals so that you can be happy at a future point in your life. They're about setting goals that are going to make you happy today, now, this week. And I hope this little bit of downtime has got you thinking about the goals that you want to set yourself in your life. It'll be the first step for you. Maybe some of these stories of some of my clients have inspired you in some small way. So whatever your thoughts are now, let's hardwire just the progress you've made with a few deep breaths. Hope you've enjoyed this little bit of relaxing time. Enjoyed watching the birds. Have a very restful, peaceful and motivated day. Take care. Bye bye.